Welcome to episode 5 of the Sid and Trey podcast.
Who are you?
This is Kwaniza, the third podcaster of the day.
Yay! Welcome to the show, Kwaniza.
I'm excited to have Kwaniza on right now because he was on a couple times last season and he was quite the good guest, if you ask me. So,
do you know what's funny? That's the one when Trey and I just were saying yay, it felt like the most lame it's ever felt to record a podcast. Yay! Anyway, hello. We're here again. It is week number 5 of the new season, and we've brought on a recycled guest, but a good one. One of our favorites. Wait, an old pal of ours, Kwaniza.
Am I just the guy that you guys like, Pokemon news, gotta put Kwan on the pod?
No, totally not. We did not do that at all.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, but to be fair, that's part of the reason we brought you on, but okay, we love you. We love you, Kwan.
It's not like you weren't on our list of guests.
Yeah, you were going to come on at some point.
Okay, you know what? Before we get to, like, Pokemon stuff, I have things specifically for you. Like I was talking to Trey about a word game we could play, you know.
Oh wait, do you have like stuff for that?
I worked on it a little bit.
Okay, that's dope because I did like nothing for this one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So Kwan,
wow.
Do you have anything other than Pokemon you want to talk about? Just shooting the shit.
Well, I mean, we got melee as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see if I want to talk about other things later. What do you guys want to start with?
I think the best thing for us to start with is the fact that I want to get it out of the way really quick. I didn't even look at my memo pad. I didn't have to. Today there was an announcement that I'm very excited for that probably neither of you know exists.
No, I'm gonna guess what it was. Yeah, because I saw something on Twitter. It's pretty obvious, right? You're talking about the Dead Space remaster, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Wow.
Yeah, it was announced like 8 hours ago at this point, I think. I think this is the latest remake of anything ever, or like earliest remake, where the original came out 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
I don't know. I think Nintendo has you beat many times over right there.
Is that true?
When did Skyward Sword come out?
Oh, 10 years ago. No.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm talking about.
But it looks so dated.
Skyward Sword sold so poorly they had to just rush to get the HD out like on the much more successful system. Well, no, Skyward Sword was on the Wii. You know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
What's funny is that Skyward Sword looks so much worse than Dead Space that I didn't even think about that. Like, the original Dead Space looks so good.
Oh, by the way, Kwan, did you actually get the new Skyward Sword remake?
No, I have the one on the Wii. That's good enough for me.
Okay.
I was right.
See, I haven't even played the original one yet, and I'm still standing by. I'm probably not going to get the HD one either.
So Dead Space remake by like EA. I was gonna actually pull up the article, but I didn't think of it until this second.
You got to do some Trey level research, aka read the first couple sentences of the first article you see.
I read the whole article. Do you know how long the article was?
Wow.
4 paragraphs.
That is more research than I would do. Like, good job, man.
So I did pull it up, and I did read it, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pull it up for the podcast, and now it's just like, I don't know. But it's a different team, obviously, because Visceral, the original team that made it, is no longer. And the tweets are varied in reaction to it. I'm totally down to see a remake. They're talking about modernizing it. I don't know what that means. It might be because Dead Space has like tank controls.
Microtransactions.
No, they announced specifically that there weren't going to be microtransactions. So we win.
Gamers win today.
What's crazy is that that's actually a relevant piece of like news, because the reason that Dead Space 3, not the reason that Dead Space 3 was so poorly accepted by fans or anything like that, is because it was a $60 game. It was like during the era of microtransactions, transactions question mark, you know? So it was like before free to play was so insanely huge, and $60 games came out, and Dead Space 3 came out at a $60 price point, and had microtransactions.
Oh, yeah.
So people did not go for that. I'd never see. What's funny is like there's a few games where I played it, or I played the series, and a game came out that was so poorly on reception. The reception was so poor that I never ended up playing, but I bought the game. Like Mass Effect 3 was one of those games. What was it? Assassin's Creed 3 and Dead Space 3. The rule of threes. Like I bought all those games, but I never played them because their reception was so bad. And yeah. So like I own Dead Space 3. Dead Space 1 and 2 are on my top 10 games of all time. That I like my list that I've been working out. Trey, you have to work on your top 10 games of all time. I felt like DMing Quan, asking him to like make a pseudo top 10 games of all time to like see if we could talk about it maybe this week.
Wow, I totally forgot about even doing that, but you wanted us to think about that for next week?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write that down. I will. I'm going to tell you right now, I got to like figure out a basis of comparing games to one another. Maybe like for multiple factors, be it like story, gameplay, graphics, all this stuff.
I didn't look at it that complicated, but to finish with Dead Space 3, like I own them, or I owned it and I never played it. Like I think I played like the first hour, which is so sad because the first two are like so highly, I guess, like they're so on my list. They're so on my list, you know. And
wait, so you never like played 3?
I played for like an hour,
and then you just either like got bored or sidetracked.
Yeah, I got distracted, and it's not like people outside of Dead Space 3 were like, "Oh, you should come play. You should play that game. It's really good." It was all like, "Wow, this game's really shit. You shouldn't play it." And I got bored, or I like got distracted, or something like that. So I never went back to it. But yeah, Dead Space remake. Quan, like, did you look at it and go like, "Cool"? Have you played the original?
No, I only played 2. It was a good game, I guess. I just remember it being dark. You shoot some little guys, some scary looking guys, and you have fun. That's about all I remember from that game. But
that is hype. But yeah, the new remakes, modernization makes me sound kind of whatever. Like I'm kind of nervous about like, oh, we're modernizing it. It's like I don't really know, but like I don't know. My attitude towards remakes nowadays is, at least it's happening. Like if it's bad, then you still got the original kind of a deal.
Well, that's not always true if you're Nintendo, because like they're really bad about having avenues to play the old games.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And that people are turning to emulation more and more as a result. I mean, they're kind of asking for it, but whereas like Microsoft and like other non-Nintendo companies are much better at like allowing access to all the older stuff if you want to do it. So we'll just see if that continues to be the trend or not. And,
is that the main reason why like GameCube games and Game Boy games and all those old console games, is that the main reason why they've all held like MSRP value or more? It's because Nintendo just never releases them again.
Nintendo is to blame for the capitalistic downfall of gaming.
Like,
and also $1 million copy of Mario 64.
Like, would Modern Warfare 2 for the Xbox 360 be worth a ton of money if they just like never like re-released it or just had it available online in like the Xbox One shop or whatever?
I guess it would be either that or more people would just pirate stuff, and they already do.
Yeah,
because I mean, piracy in general reached a peak like around the era right before movie streaming services became popular. And then when that happened, they had like a convenient way to just watch movies. And then it was like, oh, we're not going to pirate stuff as much. But it's never going to go away fully. It'll just ebb and flow depending on how much the big companies want to allow access to everything that they offer. So
yeah. Like that was the thing about music, right? Where it's just like the pirating.
The LimeWire.
Yeah, that era of music. And then
Quan, did you ever
Spotify
use
came out.
LimeWire, Quan?
No, I just bought like 20 songs on iTunes like a good boy, and that's about it.
See, no, yeah, that's the generation shift. I used LimeWire. I remember downloading so many sketchy, like, weird things. Like, I can't imagine doing that nowadays for, like, Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Yeah.
Like, I remember specifically Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Yeah. I mean, all my friends use stuff like that. I just was never that big into music, so I don't really care.
Yeah, I wasn't a big music guy either, but I wanted to have like some songs. And I used LimeWire. Then my brother was like, "Oh, bro, you got to use FrostWire. It's so much better." I think it was the exact same thing.
I think it was by the same company.
Yeah, it was like the same thing, just called a different name. And they were both shut down.
What about Napster? Isn't that the OG one?
That's the OG.
That predates even me. I didn't ever use that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I only know that because of, I think, Futurama.
Yeah, the whole Napster thing. Like that's what happens. Like Napster into like all those pirating software into Apple being like, hey, convenience trumps all for a lot of people, and there hasn't, like, that's the whole Apple thing, and now Spotify, just like, oh, subscribe, and now we have all of your music except for some J-pop groups.
I mean, like a monthly subscription makes a lot more sense than paying $1 for every single song.
Yeah, it's
a little ridiculous if you listen to a lot of music.
I just want to know, like, how did this conversation turn to us talking about pirating music?
I don't know.
How did we get here?
On this podcast, we just navigate random stuff a lot.
See, Nintendo is this company that doesn't like emulation.
It's all Nintendo's fault.
Yeah, but so to again finish up with Dead Space. So it's by EA Motive. A lot of people are getting skeeved out by EA. I don't know. People are surprised that it's getting made at all because of EA being the publishing company, but I'm just glad it's being remade at all. It's great. I love Dead Space. Dead Space is so good, and anybody listening to the sound of my voice, get this. Or wait to see if it's good and then react. I guess that's how I should really pump that.
Do you think there's like, is there any chance they would actually mess it up?
Yeah, there's always a chance that everybody can mess everything up. Right, Quan?
I guess. Wait, is Dead Space 1, is that Xbox 360 or is that the console generation before?
No, it's Xbox 360. It's 2008.
All right, thinking about games like that, this isn't a Sid and Trey shill, by the way, but I'd be down for an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood remake with like Valhalla type graphics and stuff. That would be kind of sick.
Have they ever remade any Assassin's Creed games?
No.
I don't know.
I guess they haven't.
There's no way they've gone back to a specific Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I wonder if they ever will do that, though. Like, I mean, they just make a new game every year, but how long is that going to last?
If there's one that they would do, it wouldn't be Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It would be Assassin's Creed 2.
Or they would probably remake 1 with much better quality of life improvements.
I see people... I don't know. People bag on 1 too much that I think they just go back to 2 and remake it. Because
See, you can do a thing where, like, you don't not have, like, a super... what's the word? Faithful remake? Such as, like... I'm thinking of Metroid recently, but, like, Metroid Zero Mission is basically Metroid 1, except, like, upscale GBA graphics, like, all kinds of new content, like, taken from the base game of Metroid 1. And they could do a similar thing. They could Zero Mission Assassin's Creed 1 and make that work somehow.
You know what they could also do? They could make it... just re-release Assassin's Creed and then have it like a monthly downloadable episode. Where it's just like Assassin's Creed 1 is the initial release, and then Assassin's Creed 2 comes out, and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and but like not the whole thing, just kind of a Sailor Moon Crystal, as it were, a Cliff Notes version of the actual game.
I've also got another like brilliant idea.
Hey, Quan, we got ideas.
All right.
My brilliant idea is don't force people to use Uplay, because Uplay sucks.
Yeah, Uplay sucks. Uplay is, yeah, okay. I like that idea.
See, but I think that Ubisoft is more likely to listen to you than me.
Dude, I got ideas. Ideas. So anyway, so that's my news of the week. I have other notes, but like that's the thing that I looked at and I was just like, I have to talk about this on the pod because it was like literally 10 hours ago.
Yeah, I didn't even get that on my Twitter feed at all because I think the algorithm knows I don't give a fuck about that.
I follow IGN. I'm out here.
You're a gamer.
I'm a gamer. Kwanzaa gamer. He knew what I was talking about. But the other big news this week, and a large reason we have Kwan on the podcast, is because he's the resident Pokemon expert. He talked about how he loves Pokemon Sword and Shield. Loves it to death.
God.
Okay, before people actually think you do.
That game sucks.
Okay. So the Pokémoba came out, the Pokemon MOBA.
Yeah.
Called Unite, Pokemon Unite.
Pokemon Unite.
And the one thing I know about this game is Pyroshade, while another old school runner that, like, while we were playing Rocket League the other night, he was telling me that Void, the Smash Ultimate player, the competitive Smash Ultimate player, played 24 hours straight of Pokemon Unite.
Gamer alert.
Holy crap.
And that is the only thing I know. I haven't seen much gameplay of it, but I know that apparently people... I have seen nothing but good, like, reception of it.
I watched 360 Chrism play this morning, and that's about it.
And Kwan's played the game.
Yeah, I played the game last night. I will say the opening cinematic is very good. I like that. I hate MOBAs, so
yeah, all right,
yeah, but I don't know. Like, the craziest thing about this game to me is that I just have like no real thoughts on it.
Really,
it just exists. I guess I had fun. I guess playing it. I don't know. It was chill. It's like MOBA for babies. There's really nothing to learn except like defend your tower and use your abilities to farm and hurt other guys. That's really all there is to it.
Would you say it's possible that this is a great gateway game into the MOBA genre?
Ooh.
I don't think you should even want to go to the MOBA genre, if I were to be honest. But I think this is a good MOBA to play if you hate MOBAs. I guess.
Okay. And you like Pokemon.
Yeah, it's cool, and the abilities are simple. I don't know how to even, like... Okay, this is a problem I had with the game. If you guys are using my recording for the YouTube video of me playing this game, yes, they might see it. Like,
oh boy, keep your eyes peeled, everyone.
I don't know how to, like, check what any abilities do. Like, I don't think there's a way to check in the game, so I just kept using Amnesia with Slowbro, and I had no idea what it did the entire time. And there were a couple of times, or a couple of abilities where that happened, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what some abilities do because they don't tell you what they do, but other than that, it's pretty simple. Like,
well, it makes sense because you can't, like, put your mouse over your, like, attack thing, right? Because it's on the Switch.
I guess. Right? I don't know. I was looking for it. I really wanted to know what Amnesia did, and I just had no idea the whole time.
I wonder how, like, hardcore MOBA players are taking it, because it's like it's required to play with a controller because it's on the Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
it's not on PC at all.
It's Pokemon.
Oh, I'm dumb. I thought it was like on every platform.
In 2 months, it'll be on iPhone and Android, and and pretty much that means you can just emulate an Android thing on your PC. So technically, it will be a PC game in like 2 months, but it's coming out to phones.
Haha.
Dude, Trey's basically right. I hate when Trey's basically right.
Sid, when have I ever been wrong?
Never.
Never,
You've
right?
never been wrong in your
exactly.
life, yeah.
So there we go.
I don't... I saw a few memes of the stuff today. A lot of people are, like, ranking the characters, because you play as, like, specific Pokemon. Like, Ninetales apparently is good.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Who else is good?
Random tweets.
I haven't seen any of this. Do you remember who else was good? Because I'm kind of curious.
No.
Is there like some day one tier list from a former MOBA lord?
I know Urinal Mike put out this big, another Sunshine player put out a his pseudo tier list. So I'm gonna pull that up in a second.
We're gonna. Okay, tell us what you think of Urinal Mike's tier list, Quan.
This is all we
all love Urinal Mike.
I like Urinal Mike. I will say about the game though, I soft locked like 2 times, and it'll be in the recording, so you'll be able to see that. But like you can do the tutorial, and there's like 6 different tutorials for like a super basic things, and like 2 times trying to like just get out of the confirmation screen that I completed the tutorial, I just couldn't advance at all, so I had to just home menu out twice.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
That's
only like in the tutorial, not during like an actual match.
No, not during a match. But it happened twice. Like
that's a little ridiculous. Yeah,
it's day one. Nintendo doesn't know what online is. What do you mean?
My favorite characters in that game, though, I think Garchomp's pretty cool. I just spam the attack buttons; it seemed to work. Little Talonflame's cool. You can like fly in the air and come down, kind of like a Radiscore from Smite. And if any of you guys ever played Smite, that's the only MOBA I've ever played.
I've seen gameplay of it.
It's a good game.
I have played. Okay, this is my MOBA history for anybody that cares. 5 games playing IO in Dota 2. That's my history. It's over.
All right, my history is even more extensive in the reverse direction.
Okay.
Because I watched the finals of that one Dota 2 tournament with the good people. I had no idea what was going on.
Nice.
And that was pretty hype.
Sounds awful.
But stuff was happening. People were making moves. The commentary was hype. And I was like, yeah, this is epic. I don't know what's happening, though.
It's really hard for me. So I'm looking at Pokemon Unite tier lists on Twitter. Okay, so I'm doing the littlest bit of research. What is this gold Pokemon? I am a Gen 2 man. Some Gen 3 I know. What is this gold Pokemon with the black fur?
Oh, that's probably. Wait, you have to link it, bro. I don't.
Okay, I'll link you the tier list. But it seems like there's like Snorlax is good, Gengar is good.
Oh, I see.
Alolan Ninetales is good. I don't know who this S tier one is.
That's Zeraora, a mythical from Generation 6. No, 7.
Okay.
7.
Yeah, I would never have gotten that in my life. It's conflicting. Mr. Mime could be good or bad. Urinal Mike says he's bad. Other people say he's good. I don't know. But it seems to be that Gengar and Snorlax and Alolan Ninetales is good. They're all good.
That's cool. I liked Crustle. You know which one Crustle is?
No idea.
He's that rock crab you see next to Garchomp, Mr. Mime. That guy's cool. You can like trap people with his little rocks, and so they can't run away.
That sounds sick.
It's kind of cool.
Pokemon Unite, everybody. See, I was thinking about. See, it would have been funnier to start the podcast with this instead of saying it like this, but. It would have been like, Quan do the intro, and then I'm like, okay, guys, I have an episode title even before we start talking, and then you guys go like, yeah, what's up? What's the episode title? And I go like, Unite Deez nuts, you know? And that's it.
You should have done that.
I should have done, but I didn't think of it again until now. I thought about it when I woke up from my nap, and then I didn't write it down and didn't remember. I barely remembered that Dead Space came out. But yeah, Pokémoba. People like it.
Pokémoba.
Yes. So playing that game, it seems like it's either I'm playing against babies or I'm playing against like people who kind of know how to play a MOBA. So it's like we either win by like 500 points or we get destroyed. So that was just my experience. There's these one guys, bro. Okay. This one tryhard duo, they were a duo too, I could tell. They had a Venusaur and this little like that Gen 8 weird cotton ball Pokemon. I don't remember its name, and it's Gen 8, so I don't care. But
I see the picture of it.
Yeah. They would just stick together, and you'll see it in the recording maybe, but every time I got near those two, my health would just get deleted and I'd die immediately. And I was like, what? I was so confused. I've never seen anyone like do that much damage. So
do you think they're using the Nintendo phone app to communicate?
Probably.
Oh yeah, that's such a huge advantage if you have that. There's no other way to communicate over the internet.
They found each other on the Pokemon Unite Reddit.
We should try to record a podcast over the wait, no, it's not. There's no voice chat on it, right? It's just all text.
Wait, really? That's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no voice, right?
What?
Yeah, Nintendo was like living in the 90s.
No, the phone app.
No, there's voice chat. There's voice chat.
Oh, there is voice chat?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's no way they don't have that.
It's probably terrible. We should record a podcast over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no. How about no?
How about now? But yeah, Pokemon. So other than that, since our last podcast, like it's day 2 of the Pokemon. Is it day 2 of the Pokémoba? Day 3? Day 4? Oh my god. It's come out pretty recently. I know that when I mentioned it to Trey, it was just like, hey, let's get Quan on. And this is my idea because the Pokémoba came out. And he's just like, I totally forgot that was even a thing. I didn't even know it was out. I was like, okay.
Well, no,
perfect.
It wasn't even forgetting. It was, I didn't even know that existed. Until literally you mentioned it.
It's lighten it up. People liking it. But since our last podcast, so we recorded on day 2 of Smash Summit 11 last week.
Yes.
Oh.
And we did not watch the ending before we posted our podcast. I was thinking, Trey and I actually did like a Discord call the evening after I think Smash Summit 11 ended, and I thought it was he just randomly called me, and I thought it was to do like a small addendum to the podcast to be like, hey, we saw the ending,
That was funny. You know, actually, that reminds me, I kind of miss having like preambles and stuff we used to do a lot more of.
There's no reason to.
I know, it's just funny to have like a pre-recorded thing where we're like saying some random bullshit and then we cut to the actual episode.
Let's have Quan record a preamble for us today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we've had Quan record so many things already.
But yeah, so we watched the ending of Smash Summit. And you know what? Quan also watched the ending of Smash Summit. And you know what? I thought it was spectacular.
Yeah, we were all very attentively watching it, and I'm glad that I did.
It was definitely goated, as the kids say.
The kids say goated a lot, like the past tense of goat, very common phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. So for Quan,
yeah,
we were going. Trey was like looking at the conversation in our Discord group with a bunch of people there. What were your guys'? So for anybody that doesn't know about Smash Summit 11, you probably do. Mango won. The second best player.
Let's go, Mango. Mango. USA.
Against Zane in the grand finals, who's the number 1 player in the world. And so it's great. Going into the final set. Before anything had happened, before the reset even, what did you guys think? Because I have the logs. I could go look at our Discord and like...
True.
Oh, I said some shit specifically before the match started.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go through it. All right.
I remember I said in one of the Discords, like, yeah, it sucks. I wish Plup was the second best player in the world because every time it's Mango Zane just destroys him 3-0, and I just wish Grand Finals could be good, and it didn't happen that way. It looked like it was going to happen. Zane was up 2-0, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Look, damn sure. But I will give myself a little break. Zane, I don't think Mango's ever fought Zane in the grand finals with Fox. So I think Fox is definitely major key.
But that matchup is impossible. How did he possibly win?
That's just Leffen. Leffen, what's Leffen, a triad? Yeah, that's just the dark triad talk.
Yeah, it's part of the dark triad.
Yeah.
No, like dark quartet or something, like 4 of them.
Ooh.
I don't know. Either way, I'm looking at the logs right now.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Or are we going that?
Very reputable Zelda player not Sid, but Mook. Although Sid next runner-up, don't worry.
Oh yeah, well, see, where's Mook ranked? So of the Melee rankings in like St. Louis, isn't he like ranked 10th or something like that?
Hey,
or am I making that up?
He's up there.
He doesn't play that much anymore, man. Come on, give him a break. Come on, man.
Wasn't he ranked though?
What was Mook's peak in Melee?
No, I think I don't know, like 5 to 10 in St. Louis area, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And he plays Zelda. He plays Zelda, by the way.
Yeah.
And so do I. We have a deep connection there with Zelda playing. But yeah, he's another friend of ours.
Yeah, but reputable Zelda player from St. Louis, Mook, said Mangus going to get 3-0'd. Immediately after I say 27K channel points on Mango. Or sorry, Magno, to be more specific.
Magno.
And then I was just doing it to be dumb. Like, I was honestly thinking Zane would probably win, but it was the last, potentially second to last set if it was a bracket reset, which it was. But I was like, you know what? It's the final thing. I'm just going to put all my channel points in. If I lose them, whatever. And then, of course, Magno wins. Sorry, Mango. I'm not going to say Magno anymore. Mango wins. I get like 50K channel points. I'm on top of the world.
Trey, you know what's funny? Trey is so obsessed with channel points now.
Well, I know I've always been. I love gambling with fake money.
Oh, all right, great.
I just don't. I'm not as YOLO-y as you tend to be.
I'm so YOLO. Actually, no, you were more YOLO about it this time.
Yeah,
because
see,
you actually
I'm always like the super safe player, but I'll never go all in. I'll be like, yeah, I'll put in like a fourth, and then like I'll get this potential return. You know, screw that. It's the final thing. So I'm sitting on 50K big ones right now. And I'm like, all right, you know, Mango kind of went off, but Zane was looking really strong as well. Like, Zane dropped... Actually, surprisingly, Zane, like, dropped quite a few opportunities that could have led to more stocks. That kind of turned things around pretty significantly.
Oh, Zane choked so many stocks.
Yeah, like, Zane definitely, as well and crazily as Mango played, Zane choking a bit, like, was definitely what tipped him over the edge a little bit.
Yeah, there was one SD he did on like one of the FD games in set 1. If he wouldn't have SD'd, he would have won.
Yeah, it was thing. That SD was literally like a 2-stock swing because like it should have been like other person dying, other person living.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then I'm like, I wisen up and I'm like, all right, I'll put all my 50K channel points on Zane this time to be realistic. And then I lost all my channel points. So the moral of the story is never lose faith in the nation, guys.
You know what? But that's fair. You know, usually when it does go to set 2, it's like, yeah, it's over. Like, sure, it was a great first set, but then Mango's going to get reverse 3-0.
My mindset was like, it looked like Mango had to work so hard for that, and like Zane was choking, but surely this time, like, Mango's tired out. Zane's going to not choke as much. But Mango clutched it out.
Bro, this is when I knew it was getting real. It wasn't after the bracket reset. It was game 2 on Dreamland. When Mango actually won that, because he shouldn't have won that either. That's when I was like, oh no, oh my god. I had to like, my friend came over because we were just gonna hang out, and he was like, bro, what you trying to do? And I was like, bro, I gotta turn this Smash game on the big TV out here, and we're both watching this right now, bro. And like, yeah, it was just like the perfect grand finals. I think it was so insane. The game 5 of set 2, Mango went down 4 stocks to 2 and just came back immediately. That was insane. That was like, I've never been excited watching a video game like that since like I first got into Melee, like 2014ish, 2015ish. So it brought back some stuff I didn't even remember I could feel. Like, that's how insane that grand finals was.
It like everybody's talking about it, how it's the best set of all time, and I can't really disagree. Like I have other sets that I enjoyed watching, but I actually watched that live. Probably in a couple of years, I can't imagine being like, oh, what's your favorite set? It's like, you remember Smash Summit 11? Like everybody goes back to Royal Flush for like Mango wins. I don't see. What's funny is that, like last week, during the podcast, I even said on the cast, I don't really define myself as a Mango fan. I was cheering for Plup too. Like in the Plup versus Mango set, I was cheering for Plup, and then Plup lost, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess Mango's cool.
Yeah, I always cheer for Plep recently. Like, I don't know. He's like he was the only Sheik there. And I love watching Sheik. The more I play Sheik, the more I appreciate Sheik. Before I played Sheik, I thought Sheik was lame, but now I know that she's awesome. So
Sheik is sick. My like top 2 players to watch are like 1 Leffen and 2 Plep. And the rest I don't even really care about. Mango's Fox is up there too, but yeah, I love Plep.
One qualm that I forgot. I say qualm because Quan's on the podcast. But one issue that I have is everybody saying that whenever Mango makes a loser's run, everybody brings up pound 3. Right? It's pound 3. I'm pretty sure it's pound 3.
Yeah, and that was 12 years ago or something?
Yeah, and his loser's run in that is just like, oh, this beats out the pound 3 losers run every time. And I'm just sitting there going like, it's different. Like, you can't keep harkening back. Like, when you look, it's just like, oh, he beat IBDW, he beat Plup, he beat HBox, he beat, I can't remember who else he beat, but he beat other people.
Yeah, whereas wasn't like pound 3 mostly just beating a bunch of random people with like some notable players, and like the skill ceiling was so much lower then as well?
Well, it's also, it's a different context now. This is my issue. Mango is the number 2 player in the world beating people that are top 10.
Right.
Okay? So it's like he's beating people that are top 15, like None or IBDW and stuff, but he's going into those sets the favorite. He wasn't going into the only set that he entered, Smash Summit 11, that he was going in as the underdog, or people were saying that he was probably the underdog against Plup, considering he lost earlier that weekend, but whatever. But is Zane. He's only entering that set as categorically the underdog. And am I wrong?
I'd say it's different though, because like, well, I'm not gonna refute this little pounds thing. I don't know, but
the pound thing he entered as a total nobody.
Did he?
Like,
he was pretty new.
Yeah, he just like he was so underdog in every single matchup. Like, as in, I was gonna say chillin'. Chudat, right? He beat Chudat that tournament. Like, there's a bunch of people that tournament where he beat, and it's just like he was a no-name. Versus nowadays, when he enters the turn, it's like, oh, he beat IBDW. It's like, yeah, he's been beating IBDW for 4 years or 3 years. So it's just like, yeah, but like, sure, he's a top 10 player now, but like IBDW hasn't gotten the advantage on Mango now. It's not. He's still entering every set as that's my issue when everybody brings up, it's like, oh, that's the greatest losers run of all time, but he is the second best player in the world.
I guess I wasn't aware. I thought he was more established at the pound 3 time, but I guess he wasn't.
No. Well, he's not more established than he is now.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Like, obviously not. And that's my biggest issue with that. But like, cool. It was a 6 set. I enjoyed it, but my issue is that just like everybody brings up, oh, that's the greatest losers run of all time. Yeah, okay.
Well,
I don't know.
I'd also say if Mango, like, I mean, he lost to Plup. Did he not lose to anyone else? No, he only lost to Plup, right?
He only lost to Plup.
He didn't lose in pools. Okay. I don't know.
He only lost to Plup in bracket.
It's like Summit Mango. Everyone expects Summit Mango to just bust her out hard, and it was looking that way. I think it was just a surprise, and everyone was just so shocked that he actually won Summit, because like, he's never done that, and it's I thought it was insane that he won it.
I find that so surprising that was his first Summit win, but then I remember, half of them were like Armada, and then like who else? HBox.
Yeah, it's only been Armada, HBox, M2K, and Axe.
And Axe.
And then everybody was just like, oh, Zane won the online one. And then, see, it is funny, like, people were just like, oh, we can't disregard the online era, but people are starting to disregard the online era.
I mean, look what HBox did, though.
Yeah. Like, it's hard not to disregard it. Yeah.
But, I mean, it did.
There's, just to give, like, one argument on that is that I think I'm like 100% sure that both online and in-person tournaments are going to exist, like, pretty equally sized.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, people definitely have, like, a strength in playing in LAN versus online. Like, HBox excels in LAN, I guess maybe because he feels...
Bro, it's insane. It's insane. His mindset is so... He's so laser focused, locked in during Summit. on stream, if you watch him like at a Rona Rumble being Puff, he goes down by one stock to Harry Poggers. He's like he is defeated. He doesn't want to play anymore. He just sighs after every time he gets hit. But in Summit, I just noticed him just like locked in. Like he believed, even if he was down 3 stocks to 1 against the cracked Fox, he believed he could come back, and that just isn't the case when he plays like online and shit.
Some people just excel more in online because they're more comfortable with it. Like typically newer players who didn't have to like be forced to play in person.
Oh, it's way different. It's way different. Yeah. From experience, sorry Trey, but I'll just say this. From experience, like I started off just doing like net play and stuff on my like shitty laptop. And when I went to my first tournament, it was a whole different game. I thought I had to like get used to just like playing on a TV with not in my perfect settings in a house. So people have been playing Melee in the perfect optimal settings on their monitor with the correct amount of whatever lag they have on their
sometimes in widescreen.
Yeah. And so just being in a different environment at all just makes it completely different.
I can 100% confirm that if playing on a CRT when you're not used to CRT feels really weird for a few days. Because before, I play on a CRT now for Sunshine and other GameCube games, but I used to play on my monitor. And whenever I would go to a GDQ and had to play on CRTs, I would like have to adjust for a couple days to like, I don't know, looking at a CRT is just, the frames seem choppier or something. You got like, your eyes have to like get in sync with it or something, and then you can finally use it. But
especially when you only use that one TV like for a whole year. Like even when I was playing Sunshine on like my small ass, like I have like a 12-inch CRT. That's what I would mainly play Sunshine on. If I go to a GDQ and have to play on like a 20-inch CRT, it's like, what is this? Like I don't know how to play on this slightly bigger TV. I'm used to putting hundreds of hours into this one specific TV. So yeah, just like any change. And to go back to Melee, it's like it's been a year plus where these guys have just been playing on one little setup, so it's just so different.
And then people like in the Kadoran set with HBox, like HBox has this, you know, he tends to like over dramatize things, as we all know. And like with his actions, like mid-set pop-offs or the weird stuff he does, it can sometimes tilt his opponent. Like the in-person interactions, which don't exist online, can tilt your opponent and totally change their mental game. Yeah. And that's a huge thing.
You don't have to watch the opponent stream when you're playing them. So if HBox pops off on you and you're sitting there going like, well, I just won't, like, I'm just sitting there. Like, I don't know that they actually popped off. I'm just sitting there going like, okay, well, that was one game. Sit there, breathe. But Kadoran's sitting there right there getting yelled in his face because he lost like a really close match, and he's just like, and then 2 stocks get burnt right away.
Yeah, like that wouldn't have happened online. It's a huge difference.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to ask, do you think it's like streamer HBox versus competitive HBox?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much that. Like when he's streaming, he already knows, like, even if I lose this, I still got a stream going. I still got like everyone behind me. But I feel like when he's sort of more on his own out in the world and doesn't like directly see those names on a screen, like cheering him on, he feels like he has more something to prove. I mean, especially now with like, he was having to prove like, oh, this online thing, like I really am better on land. So I gotta like make sure I play really well here.
Like, people were thinking HBox wasn't even, like, top 25, top 30. And this boy gets 3rd at Summit. I just think that blows my mind. Like,
he wasn't invited, right?
Yeah, he had to do the campaign or whatever.
See, that's what's actually kind of insane. They should have, they went out of their way to invite Amsa. I'm, like, he had to get votes. Like, he did his subathon, and then he put votes in for himself.
But that's a smart move from Summit, because you know he's going to get those votes, and that's going to bring in a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
I guess that is
a
true.
Smart move.
But like, I guess not like ignoring that, ignoring that smart move. Yeah. Like he should have gotten an invite, right? Because he's one of the. They should always invite one of the former four winners. In my book.
I mean, people just have like so much recency bias. It's actually insane. Yeah, like something like in our monkey brains when we see like the past 2 months of results, we're just like, oh, that's what it is. That's their placings. Okay.
I feel like for every summit, Armada should get like some sort of paperweight or like some recycling paper that like he gets just like, oh, you got invited to summit. It's just like, yeah, I play SM64 now, but like I get it. And then he just recycles it like some sort of pamphlet. Like he should just get it. It's like, oh yeah, you're invited to summit. Oh, that's cool. And then he just doesn't go. But one other thing that I wanted to talk about regarding summit. Yeah, HBox is insane. Like, but the other set. Did you guys catch? I know traded, but Quan, did you catch Kadoran versus Zane?
I think so. Yeah, didn't Kadoran? He got 3-0'd, right?
Yeah, he got 3-0'd.
Yeah, what about
I actually don't know if I watched this one, to be honest.
No, we talked about it.
Okay, maybe I did.
The only reason is because this is my only note for Smash Summit, because I knew I wouldn't remember it if I didn't put it in my notes. It's the commentary pre-match. Where LSD, Logan, and Scar were talking on commentary. So they had LSD, the other Marth, who was in the tournament that got knocked out earlier, do like a pre-match analysis of Kadoran versus Zane, and he was like a big fan of Kadoran, like totally talking him up. He's insane, and he's right. Kadoran's really good, but he was going like, you know what? I think he's going to beat Zane. I think it might be like a close game 5, but like
I remember what you're talking about now.
Like at some point, Kadoran's going to get his feet underneath him, and he's going to start stunting on Zane. And he went on for like 4 minutes. He was talking about like how good he's going to do in this match, and then at some point, I like for some reason it got shot over to Scar, and Scar was sitting there going, it's just like, oh, and LSD turned to Scar and went, what do you think is going to happen this match? And he's just like, I think Zane's going to destroy his ass. And it was just so funny because it was just after 4 minutes of Kadoran's going to win. This is very unlikely scenario, but Kadoran's going to win into, I think Zane's just going to destroy him. and for the first 2 games, he was kind of right. Game 3 was really close. It was a close game 3, but other than that, it was a 3-0. And I thought it was so novel and such a novel interaction that I had to write it down that it actually happened. But other than that, I don't have any other notes for Smash Summit. I think I agree with myself from last week. I was happy that HBox lost against Mango in pools because I just didn't want it all to get reset. I didn't want online era to not matter at all, but I'm just glad that he didn't win the whole thing because I feel like that would have been bad overall. Just like, oh well, everything's back to normal.
Yeah, I was rooting for HBox, but I didn't want him to see him win the whole thing for sure.
Yeah.
But Mango kind of pisses me off, though. I was pissed after he beat Hungrybox. He's like, yeah, it's epic when you play like shit and win. It's like, how disrespectful can you be when the man is right behind you? Like,
I saw that live, and I'm just thinking, like, he can get away with this because he's Mango, but if someone else said that,
I know, that's what I'm saying. I like Mango's like stream. I think he's good at talking and just being kind of relatable.
Agreed.
But sometimes I hate Mango. I hate Twitter Mango. He turns into Leffen Jr. on Twitter after he loses and no one bats an eye at it. I'm like, bro, Mango cries every time he loses and no one ever cares. And then, how disrespectful he is to HBox. I mean, I get that he doesn't really like HBox, but I don't know, I thought it was fucking whack. And I was kind of pissed off.
The thing about him saying that, wasn't the mic off when he said it, and the only I watched it live, and I thought that he walked up to the mic, said something, but the mic hadn't been turned on, and then HBox came up and was just like, oh, what did he say? And Toph reiterated it, saying that, and I thought Toph was making a joke.
Mango said it on mic.
Say it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it, so I was just like, I thought that the Summit staff hadn't turned on the mic, and then Tove was making a joke, and then HBox took it seriously, and then I was just like, I think that I think I misread that whole interaction. Like, so I'm pretty sure that actually happened.
Mango's low key a part. Like, I watch a lot of his YouTube videos because they always come up my recommended. He's always been like a part of the agenda of like, oh, you gotta work hard and play every day to be good. So he's been like kind of saying recently, like, yeah, HBox, he's gonna suck when he comes back. He's gonna lose to these players like Moki and IBDW easily. And it's like, obviously, Mango could see that HBox played well in that 3-1 loss to Mango in the pools or whatever. And I know Mango saw that, and I know that's just another like prideful, like psychological type of thing. Like, oh, I wasn't even trying, and I beat HBox. I told you he sucks. So yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of whack. I agree.
There were a few moments during the Summit where, like, when they did the hot tub stream.
I saw that. That was so funny.
when Mango was talking about that HBox set, like, during the hot tub stream, to some extent.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I was listening to it while I was baking, and I heard him say something. What was it? This could have gone really badly. Like, it was because it was right after their pools, like right after Zane and Mango's separate pools. So after that, they did the hot tub setup, and so it was basically right after Mango versus HBox, and the fact that they had Mango in a hot tub like pre-planned and after the HBox versus Mango set that he could have lost.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, this could have been horrible. Like, this could have been a horrible idea. And I was just like, yeah, it could have been. So there's still like respect there. It's just Mango sort of respect. And and he was talking about it later that weekend, or maybe earlier that weekend. I can't remember which, but he was saying that you can never count him out. Like, you can, like, it's HBox. You got to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not, you can't be an idiot about it. But yeah, well, saying that he'll lose to IBDW isn't really that outlandish, because IBDW...
I expected IBDW to destroy HBox. I was surprised that... I didn't see the set, but I was surprised, and I looked at the bracket and saw it was a 3-1 HBox. I was like, whoa.
IBDW played a lot better the previous Summit, I think. Isn't that when he went like on that huge streak and beat all those really good players?
Is that the one where he got third?
I think, is that the one where he beat Leffen, then he's like, yeah, he wasn't playing too well.
Oh,
and then, and then he beat someone else. He's like, yeah, he wasn't playing that good. It's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about?
Is IBDW the one that went through the whole bracket without even being invited? Like, I think he like, somebody got in and they referenced it, and I can't remember which, because I've watched all the summits.
I think he was one of the. Was it like he was one of the first to make top 4 without being an invitee or something like that?
That sounds right.
I don't know the exact, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
he's the highest.
And that's interesting.
I like IBW though. He's a cool fox.
Yeah.
He works hard.
Other than that, I don't have any other summit notes.
So what's up with you, Quan? What's going on in the world of Kwaniza?
Yeah, what you playing these days?
What's going on?
I'm like a casual gamer, pretty much. I mean, I still play Melee. Well, I was depressed in Melee because all my controllers sucked. Like, my good controller actually broke. The R button, like, just sticks and stuff. So I tried using an older one, and I thought that one was really bad, but I think I was just rusty. So I just started playing some more, and now that controller is fine. So I'm playing Melee again, is the long story short.
I believe in... Were you on the podcast when you told us this, that you wanted to achieve a certain goal in Melee?
I'd like to be... Well, I don't... It's too hard, dude. Like, being good at Melee is too hard, but being, like, top 20 in NorCal, I mean, it's possible, but I'd have to play more. We'll see, because I'm going to start university this year, and if my school does have... It usually has, like, a Melee weekly and a big Melee following, so I could use that to play Melee more and whatnot, so...
Yeah, literally every school that has more than like 3 people has a Melee scene.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that you need Zelda practice?
No.
That's why he's got Mook.
Quan and I played like 40 minutes a few months ago, and I beat his Pichu.
What? No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god,
I think Sid will remember that.
I beat your Pichu.
That's a pivotal moment beating Quan.
Don't you dare take this away from me.
Wow.
I think I beat more than just your Pichu.
That was a few months ago.
Yeah, that was
and Sid's better now, so just think, man.
Wow.
Hey, my Zelda's getting up there. I know when to shield now.
Bro, me and Mook had a sweaty session a couple weeks ago. Whew, the stuff we were doing some crazy things in that session, man. I'll tell you. And the Zelda, I'm a god. I'm probably because I play Mook, I'm probably top 35 in the world against Zelda.
I bet. Well, I know Sid's Zelda. It's not Moog Zelda, but it's something. It's something, alright.
I don't play Melee professionally in any regard. One thing I want to ask Quan about his casual gaming lately is, and I've mentioned it briefly on the podcast, and I've tried to record some sessions of it so that we can have it in the background for YouTube, but I've never felt confident enough to give it. Our Rocket League sessions.
Yeah.
So recently, Quan just kind of DM'd us out of nowhere, being like, "Hey, you guys want to play RL more?" Rocket League.
And to tie it all together, the only reason why I want to play Rocket League is because I saw Mango streaming it a couple months ago or something. So Mango is legit the sole reason why we've been playing Rocket League this past month or so.
I didn't know that. I know it reignited you wanting to play it. Reignited Pyro and I to play a lot more twos because we played the other night. See, I can never play Rocket League for more than 2 hours or more, 2.5 hours nowadays. But anyway, what do you? So you started from pretty clean, pretty new, I guess is the way to phrase it in Rocket League. How do you feel about Rocket League in general? What? You know what? Talk about Rocket League.
I feel like it's a game I never want to practice, so I'm probably never gonna get good. But I feel like I'm still getting a little better every time I play, and I don't know, it's kind of fun, I guess. It's just I like playing threes with you and Pyro because I know my role. I'm just gonna try to hit the ball every now and then, see what happens. Maybe shoot the ball once a game. And yeah, I don't know, it's fun.
Is it the best practice for a game like that, just playing the game anyway and being mindful of what you're doing?
No. You gotta learn a lot of shit. You gotta learn a lot of bullshit.
How do you lab that game?
There's a lot of resources for labbing stuff.
Bunch of tryhards, I tell you.
There's setup practice modes. There's goalie, if you're bad at a certain thing, there are goalie specific modes or shot modes, or there's a lot of
there's modes in the game.
Yeah, for tutorial. That's and
cool.
Practice shots and stuff like that. I barely use any of it. Pyro's been using it a fair bit lately to do aerial hits. Aerial hits are what you practice in that game. And I'm in the same boat as Quan. I've never booted it up to be I'm going to practice for an hour on Sunshine. I do that a fair bit. It's just I'm just going to do an offline ILs or work on this one thing. I do that all the time. But for Rocket League, I never open up the game and go you know what? I'm going to go into free play and screw around and see if I can no. But yeah. Rocket League is an interesting thing. Playing with you though, Quan, has been really nice. At first you sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it what it is. But Pyro and I have been playing since release, so 5 years off and on. But watching you get better is the way that you talk about your role now is just I just randomly hit the ball or I randomly shoot it. I expect you to be in certain places, and I'm mostly right. During rotations where I can't look at my teammates, and I know when Pyro's gonna go for a ball because it's way up in the air, I'll back off of it, Pyro will go for it, kind of a thing. There are those kind of balls. And there are moments where I'm pushing up and I'm just okay, I'll back off. I know Quan's behind me. And I'm mostly right. Sometimes I'm wrong because you're always just sometimes wrong. But you do know your way around a rotation now.
Oh, yeah. That's all I feel that's the thing I do know is just where to not like positioning, because I still position poorly, but I don't know where to be given how the ball has just been hit and whatnot.
Yeah.
Except
for on walls or corners.
Oh yeah, no, don't talk to me about the corners, bro.
Dude, corners. I was thinking about it while we were playing the other day. It's just like, bro, these corners. I'm like, bro, you're gonna eventually have to figure out these corners.
I'm not.
It just hits off a corner, and you're just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm supposed to be. And you're just.
I went from golds to diamonds though, so.
Ooh, there we go.
What's up, y'all?
Impressive.
We're all sitting there, Diamond.
What's up?
It's a fun game. I enjoy playing it. Every now and then, though, and you totally know when I'm like this, where it's just like sometimes I get tilted, but like that's just life sometimes.
Yeah.
It seems like a very tiltable game from an outside perspective because I feel like there's so much potential for just random hits that just there could be like random blowout games even against a team you expect to beat.
It's more so like you just blatantly miss an easy ball and that tilts you the most. It's like you fucking up or your teammates can fuck up and you're just like, fuck. And I don't know. It's fine though. I don't care.
Or the opponents are like big on demoing or like bumping and you're just like
that actually makes me rage. Like I don't rage. Like I think the thing I rage about most in games is when people try to destroy me in Rocket League.
Yeah. It's a weird like part of the game that not a lot of people take advantage of, where it's just like you can literally kill somebody and reset them on their side of the field so that they're just like not part of the scenario anymore for like 7 seconds. Like more than that sometimes, and that's crucial. And they're just like, "Oh, okay, you're sitting in net and you're not really thinking about it. I'm going to destroy you while my teammate has control of the ball and just scores." And it's just like, it's tough.
That sounds like a smart play.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes, see, the thing is, Pyro goes for that stuff. Like when I have control of the ball. Pyro's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna attack, especially in twos. I'm just gonna go attack the guy in net and see what he does. And I don't realize it's happening. I wish there was like a quick command that Pyro could go in, being like, I'm going to go destroy this guy, so that I know to not set it up for him to follow it up. Because sometimes I set it up for him, and he's just like, oh, he went to go demo. I didn't know. Like there was no way for me to know. So it's tough to react to that stuff, but it like there's definitely teams that are just like, or players, I guess players, maybe not teams, but there are players that are go for it.
Like Kurt, remember Kurt?
Yeah, Kurt, exactly, Kurt.
I hate Kurt.
There was months ago. There's just this random guy named Kurt Cobain. Was it Kurt Cobain or was it just Kurt?
Might have been Kurt Cobain.
It was Kurt Cobain online, and he was the biggest bumper we've ever seen in our life / demoer. Like he was just a random online. I think it was a trio of randoms, and he was just focusing on demoing. And every time that we run into a demoer, it's like, it's a Kurt. We ran into a Kurt. And a lot of solos do it, where it's just like, you know what, I want to win, and I don't really have much of a foundation with these other players, obviously, because they're randoms online. But you know what I can comfortably do? I can make it so that one or two of the other team aren't in the scenario, or like in a weird part of the scenario where it's just like, oh, I have to get away, and now I have to put myself into the rotation somehow still. It does become super awkward, but it's in threes. I think it's less of a thing, but it's still like every now and then. Just randomly, it's like, wow, this sucks. Like that shouldn't have gone in, but that guy luckily bumped me, or that guy luckily it's the lucky ones that really tilt you, I think. Where it's like they go for a shot and somehow their car went around the ball, like totally unintentional, and you know it was unintentional, and bumped you out of the way, and then it goes in. And it's just like, wow, well, I couldn't have done anything about that because he didn't even know it was going to happen. But there's a lot of that stuff. Rocket League's fun.
It's aight. Yeah. It's a good time to hang out with my friend Sid and Pyro, so you know.
we just chill for 2.5 hours, and then we get salty, and then we leave.
Yeah.
Other than that, What's up, Quan?
I've been playing single player games. Recently picked up Genshin Impact again. It's a legit game, bro. For a Breath of the Wild knockoff, for a gacha game, for a weeb ass / Chinese ass game, it's legit. There's a ton of like care and content and just things to do every day. And it's grindy, and grinding stuff is good. Like, grindy games can be good. And I think
I can't critique anything about gacha or grindy because I played Raid Shadow Legends.
Mm-hmm.
So, go off.
Yeah,
but you can at least like relate to it though.
Yeah, I can relate for sure.
And like the combat is legit fun. Like, it's fun swapping through 4 different characters. Every element reacts to a different element in a different way. You can use winds to mix all the elements and do some crazy explosions. It's just a good game. I think it's solid. Nice. Free to play. Solid free to play.
Have you spent any money on it?
Yeah, I haven't spent any money on like the actual summoning like currency, how you like get the broken characters and stuff. But I've spent money on the battle pass and like this one $5 a month thing that like gives you primo gems every day. So it's worth the money, I'd say. It's a good game. Other than Gengen, I beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the PS5.
Oh, yeah.
Really good game. I 100%ed it. Very fun. Speedrunner friendly, I think. The movement in it is insane for a shooter. Like, you can go super fast, do a bunch of skip over a ton of like segments just by going fast and jumping, and you get like a midair type of hat in time type of dive thing. It's really good. I was watching, my friend is playing through it too, just at my house. He like skipped a boss, and I have it recorded on my PS5. I just haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet, and I'm gonna like send it to the speedrunners and see if like they can use that or anything.
That's really cool to hear that you can sort of zoom through shit in a more modern game, because typically modern games, like platformers even, they just don't seem to have as much of that freedom that older games have in terms of not necessarily brokenness, but just expression of movement to like go through stuff faster. Stuff is just more on the railsy now, it seems like, in general.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how, like, I don't have any good examples, but I think I know what you mean. What I mean. So
yeah, it's like a 30% platformer, 70% shooter type of game, but the freedom of movement is really like some of the best probably the best, honestly, I've ever played with the shooter. It really felt like, honestly, Sunshine, how fast you can go, just like sliding and stuff. So it's cool. It's a fun game. Like, you know how you just get those games where it's just fun to like, when you're done doing all the quests, it's just fun to like spend 15 minutes just like running around and doing movement and stuff. It's one of of those games for sure. It's solid. And that, I don't know why, but every time I like beat games now, I cry at the end. I cried at the end of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't even anything crazy in that. It was just like a standard ending. But I was like, that's nice. I was like, that's
sometimes,
nice ending.
I don't know. Something about credits music is just built different usually. Like, the credits music hits you sometimes. You're like, damn.
Yeah. You know, Quan opening up about that, since I've watched Madoka, I'm more... like, I know this isn't video games, and we'll get back to video games, but since I watched Madoka Magica, I'm more, I guess it's easier for me to get me more teary-eyed at things. I don't know why, but like, yeah.
I don't know. I get teary-eyed over the randomest stuff. I remember back when I was super into watching Let's Plays, I religiously watched Let's Plays in like 2010, around that time. Mm-hmm. There's a famous Let's Player named Nintendo Capri Sun, and I watched a Let's Play of Conker's Bad Fur Day from him.
And it made you teary. It made you cry.
I don't know why. I don't remember why. But the final cutscene in the game before the credits, I actually started crying. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah.
I respect it.
Conker's Bad Fur Day of all games. Yeah.
I respect it.
I respect it.
Yeah, that just happens to me now. I'll just like cry at the end of shit. Like, I just my most recent cry was yesterday, right? Yeah.
Oh shit.
At the
Let's
end
hear about this.
When I watch a good show, like at the end, I'm just like, if it's a good show, I'll just be like, a couple tears. That's worth a couple tears of like,
yeah,
that's some good shit. I did that after WandaVision, an insanely good show, by the way. If you're up on the Marvel like movies, just like at least the Avenger ones, WandaVision is ridiculously good. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I replayed through hard mode on that and did the DLC. I probably latest whatever playthrough I did of that.
Platinum?
Yeah, I platinumed it.
Oh, by the way, how many updates have they made for the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Like, how much do they have made now?
They just did the Midgar basically, and then and they're not releasing they're not going to keep adding to the game that's on right now. They're just going to make a Final Fantasy VII Remake 2 for the PS5, and that's
okay. So that's not done yet. It's still just part 1, but they're adding stuff to it.
Yeah, I mean, they're working on part 2 right now, which is going to be a whole different game. And
okay,
I mean, probably similar battle mechanics. I'd assume they'd improve upon it, but like seeing as how Final Fantasy VII the original played out, next game is probably going to be like way more open worldy because the first Final Fantasy VII Remake is definitely linear with like honestly bad level design, but that's not the important thing about that game by any means.
I mean, as you know, Quan, like I actually played the original FF7 about a year ago, or I don't know when it was, a few months ago at least, and I thought it was like a pretty solid game. I wasn't crazy about the battle mechanics because it's pretty dated and archaic at this point.
Oh, it's awful.
Just like turn-based stuff.
It's awful. It's awful.
I wasn't like super crazy about it, but I thought the story was neat and it had interesting characters, and I don't know, I just liked the progression of it.
Yeah.
And I eventually want to find enough reasons to justify a purchase of a PS5, and the FF7 remakes are definitely going to be one of those reasons.
Yeah,
because I heard you really saying that like you thought that the FF7 remake part 1 battle mechanics were like some of the best in any game you ever played.
It's fucking amazing. It's like I've never been so like passionately in love with like a game's battle mechanics than I am with like Final Fantasy VII remake. It's so good. Maybe I'm just easy to please, but for it. I love it. And yeah, I don't know. Like we were talking about last time I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was like a month or two ago. Like I probably cried 4 times throughout my whole playthrough.
I thought we had gone back full to video games, but apparently we're still talking about crying.
Well, crying to video games being epic, I guess. I don't know that.
Yeah.
There's especially one part in like Don Corneo's mansion where Tifa and Aerith kind of like team up and this cool music plays, and it's just like that part gets me every time. I don't know why. There's just so many epic parts about that game. You guys are talking about like top 10 games of all times. They're like, it's such a recent game, but there's a discussion for me putting Final Fantasy VII Remake as my number 1 game ever. Like,
wow,
I like it that it's top 5 for sure, but like, I don't know. That game just hits every perfect chord with me.
Okay, well, what do you guys think about this idea? All right, I just had it because Quan's talking about top 10 again. What if we couch the top 10 conversation, or like put a pin in it, and not do it next week, and we have like a round table of like 3 guests so like you, Trey, and I, and then like
this sounds
Quan,
ambitious.
And then Quan and like two other people that we have had on the podcast.
5-person episode?
A 5-person episode.
That's going to be a lot of audio tracks.
And we all make top 10 lists and like go through them and like discuss them.
That would be hype.
That would be a very interesting. I don't know who the other 2 would be.
KO, like, maybe?
Maybe KO. But
why not?
Who knows? Because I think it's funnier for me to say
I don't know about, yeah, see, to be fair, it was funny. I laughed. So good
if KO listened to that, he would laugh at that.
We literally just had him. I don't know about KO. Let's just.
I think that's an interesting idea. Like a lot of ideas I have.
Respect.
Yeah, I mean, we did have one episode, season 1, where we had us 2, then Quan and Paper.
Rasmus actually referenced that while I was streaming the other day. He was talking that he recently re-listened to it was Paper, Quan, and you and me talking about 3D All-Stars.
And how we're not going to run it.
And apparently it's just like, yeah, it was a really good re-listen. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I've never...
The only problem is that, like, the more people you have, the harder it is to, like, not talk over each other constantly.
Yeah. And that'll be the challenge.
It's going to be an interesting challenge if we do that.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do that in a couple months or something.
So we're saying, like, hold off on the top 10 stuff for a little bit?
I'm saying you still have to make your list.
Yeah, I'll make it at some point. Don't worry.
Quan, you have to make a list.
All right.
And if you don't want to, that's fine.
I'll do it.
You don't have to go through like graphics. See, what's funny about Trey talking about top 10 games of all time and going like, well, I have to go through like how it makes me feel and then like put score up against graphics.
Basically, I just have to like pinpoint what I believe is like the most important metric of a game worthy of that. I think what I thought of right now is like probably the game I put the most time into, with the exception of games that I speed ran.
Yeah,
probably.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
Because like I could say, oh well, Sunshine number 1, I put like 5,000 plus hours on, but that's not like really a reason. Like I just speed run it. So
yeah,
I don't think Sunshine would be on my top 10.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be on mine, to be honest. I don't even know. I have no idea how I'd even rank Sunshine as a casual game. I don't think it's that amazing casually, to be honest.
What's funny is that like KO the other week asked me to make one because they were just like in a Discord call and the Discord call was lame and he was just asking people their top 10. So I joined and he asked me and I spent like the next 20 minutes thinking of it. Like maybe I'll skim over it and go and figure it out. But like the way I made the list was just kind of like how I felt. Like when I think of this game, do I think it's better than this game? Like, it's not like, oh, this graphic versus better. Like, it's probably a casual perspective.
Were you doing it based on, like, nostalgia? Like, what you perceived the game to be quality-wise, like, at the time you played it? Or, like, what you would think of it if you played it now?
I don't think it's if I played it now. I think it's how I felt. And it's like a combination of both.
Okay, so, like, top 10, like, best games you had, like, the joy of experiencing.
I feel like Trey, you're kind of like thinking of like top 10 best games objectively you played. To me, it would be like To me, it would be like what games meant the most to me and what I felt while playing them. Like
you're probably right.
Like there are some games like Simpsons Hit and Run is a good example. I love that game growing up. I would never play it again though. I don't think. But that game meant something to me for sure. It wouldn't be on my top 10. That might
scrape into my top 20 at least. I don't know about top 10.
Like my Simpsons Hit and Run would be Pokemon Crystal, where it's like I really loved Pokemon Crystal.
Now you tripping.
Yeah, I really tried. Well, what do you mean?
Now you tripping. That game's good no matter when you play it.
I recently retried to play it, and I was just like, I get it.
Well, you see, we are not hardcore Pokemon super fans like you, Quan. We're sort of just like, we really enjoyed Pokemon at a certain time in our lives, but nowadays we're just like, I don't feel like playing Pokemon much anymore, to be honest.
True,
but but it's like that instead of it's like a combination of all of it. There was something I wanted to allude to, but then
I will say, I genuinely do see myself playing another Pokemon game if it's more Coliseum-esque and more like sort of like an original story type thing, and not just the usual formula.
You mean a good game? See, this is the plight and despair of being a Pokemon fan, right? Since Gen 5, we just want another good Pokemon game. We're just hoping to God the next game is good. So Gen 6 comes out, it's like, all right, chill, whatever. You tried, you did a decent job for your first try on like a 3D type of game.
Is Gen 6 Mega Evolutions?
Yeah, X and Y, Mega Evolution, first 3DS one. Gen 7 is Sun and Moon. It's like, it's like too much story. We get you on some story. It's cool.
V moves.
It's still not good.
Yeah.
It's still, I wouldn't say it's good, but it's chill. Some stuff is good about it. Stupid, V mechanic, whatever, Z mechanic, Z moves, dumb. Get rid of that. And then Gen 8.
How sucks?
Yeah, how sucks. Gen 8 is just like, okay, we heard you guys. You don't like story, so just story. There's no story in Gen 8. Nothing matters really. It's just a dumb game. Good Pokemon designs. That's the one great thing about Gen 8 is the Pokemon designs, but it's still just a terrible game.
Okay, I'm personally of the belief, I think that the main series games should have never gone full 3D.
I mean,
because at that point, like, it's inevitable. There's no way you can have a full Pokédex. It'd be too much. Like,
I don't. They could do it.
It's too much.
They could do. We're in 2021. They could.
You got to make like animations for like all 900 Pokemon.
They
got to hire like 1 million animators. Then
the thing is, they already have. They've been using the same animations and models since Gen 6 and 7. Though they could just keep using those models and slightly update them.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
which is fine. Like, we get it. It's a lot of fucking Pokemon. You can reuse models, but the rest of the game, it needs to be good too, though. Like, there needs to be a game. The game, it shouldn't. Sun and Moon using HD like hacks to make it 1080p. Sun and Moon should not look better than a Nintendo Switch game, and it does. It's like so sad. It's awful.
I just think about the animations and people being like. And like mad at a Pokemon animation and be like, dude, that Eevee should roar differently because you guys got more money. Or like the opposite side of the spectrum where it's just like, I'm fine with him roaring the exact same way. They could just up-res it. And then the other perspective being like, he roars the same way as he did in X and Y. It's like, wait. Or like he just like moves the same way when he enters a battle. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it.
I think last time, one of the times I went on your pods, I would talk about how like I replay Pokemon games all the time, but I'm so burned out on just bad new Pokemon games. I haven't played a single Pokemon game since Gen 8. Like, it's that bad. Like, I have absolutely no like desire to play the Diamond and Pearl remakes either. I will. Mm-hmm. But I don't.
You'll still do it.
But I don't care. I'm curious about the Legends Arceus game. It looks interesting if it runs more than 10 FPS. But I don't care about Pokemon anymore, really, until they make a good game. Is what I'm saying.
As time goes on, I appreciate Colosseum more because it's like they tried something different. And at the time, I always thought it was kind of weird for like straying from the usual path, but now I'm like, dude, that was kind of awesome.
That's really good.
So,
and
it had interesting characters as well.
Yeah,
like interesting
people want to talk about how epic the main character is because of like the opening cutscene of him being a bad guy. It's like he really isn't that epic if you actually play the game. He still doesn't do anything. But yeah,
that epic motorcycle.
He's epic because he was a bad guy in the first cutscene and then is turned into a good guy and does only good guy things the rest of the game because you control him and he doesn't talk. But I know why people like Colosseum. It's a good game. XD, I think, is a better game. It's just people don't give XD the credit it's due because you're just like a little kid type of like standard type of a protagonist. But I think XD is a better game than Colosseum. Hot take, I guess. But
and also Colosseum, it's purely double battles, which I think double battles just are more fun than single battles in general, in my opinion.
They are. They objectively are. But not a lot of people think that.
There's objectively more strategy there.
Yeah, it's inherently harder too in that fact because there's more can go not
astray.
Plan. Yeah, astray is good. Yeah.
More can go astray.
That's the Trey word of the day. Astray. It rhymes with Trey.
I've never played a Colosseum game. I wish I had an opinion so that I could argue with Quan about. Hey, bringing up arguing with Quan, and since we're I think nearing the end of the Pokemon talk, and Skyward Sword did just come out, can we like,
bro?
I've referenced it a few times.
All right, nah, man. Okay, I'm gonna let you all in on a secret. I have been listening to your guys' podcasts.
Oh, thank you.
I think I listened to every episode.
Thank you.
Skyward Sword's a good game, man. Like, it's a good game, bro. Chill out. Like, chill out, man. Like, I think it's a good Zelda game. Like, it's like upper half, like top half of the Zelda games. I think it's better than Wind Waker. which was probably blasphemous. Really? Yeah, I think it's good.
What's wrong with Wind Waker?
I think
Wind Waker's... say the sailing. You can warp. It's not all sailing.
I think Wind Waker is a very good game, but I don't like. I will say the sailing is just like a mask for just having a ton of little small like mini game islands.
But it feels epic.
Yeah,
dude. It like we were talking about crying in video. You know what I would cry at in Wind Waker? Like the moment where you get the ability to sail like freely. My God, that feels so good. And then it becomes super boring. But like, but like that moment when you get to sail anywhere, wow, that's sick.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, it's like you have to go here, or the King of Red Lines is like, we can't go there yet.
Yeah,
so just like, what the fuck? I want to go here. Fuck you.
Wind Waker's a good game,
of course. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. We're talking about Skyward Sword though. Wind Waker. I think I've turned around the opposite way, where it's just like I used to love it as a kid, but I think I still love it, but I don't know. It's settled.
It's chill.
I have so much nostalgia for both Wind Waker and Twilight Princess that I'm actually low key afraid to play them again because it will like taint my vision of them a little bit. But who knows?
Majora's Mask, best Zelda.
Dude,
anyway.
That Gibdo part, so good.
Not the Gibdo part. The Gibdo part isn't good.
Yeah, actually, a few months ago, me, Quan, and Dapper Pinguino did a semi-blind race of Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's crazy.
And I actually won the race.
You're
as the only person to actually finish. Yeah, I'm the one who finished.
I'm so glad I didn't finish, by the way. I was 7 hours in, and I was like, all right, maybe there's like 3 more hours left or something. And like, bro, I stopped playing. Like, I gotta do something.
The fucking the fourth, I had no, because okay, the most I ever played up to as a kid was to the final boss of Great Bay Temple, which is Georg, the giant fish.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't beat Georg growing up, but in this race, I beat him second try, baby. Let's go.
Nice.
So I really leveled up as a gamer, I guess I could say.
And then you got to the Gibdo part, and I remember tuning it. I think I tuned into the Gibdo part like 4 times, and I was just like, "Oh my
basically,
God.
I was under the impression like I think I finished the like 3rd temple about like 7 or 8 hours in. So I was like, okay.
There's only 4 temples in the game. There's only 4.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, only 1 more temple, then it's Majora. Like, how long could that take, right? Well, I had no idea how the game worked beyond that point because I've only seen speedruns, and speedruns, I think they skip a lot of the shit you do in that 4th segment.
They do nothing of the Gibdo aren't a thing. You do like a small, in the speedrun, you do a small hop onto a block, you get to the mirror shield. In the actual casual route,
Okay, so basically you have to do all this stuff I never even knew existed in the game. Like you have to, I had to go back. So Dapper and I actually skipped we skipped Epona for a bit because we just like did some Goron bomb thing to get onto a fence. Yeah, we low key cheated.
That was hilarious.
We're like, it's not technically a glitch. You can just do it. And then eventually we're like, wait, shit, we have to get Epona so I can get onto this tree. And then so we got up to the tree onto that ledge in Akana Canyon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was still more we had to do. Like you had to like race that dude.
Oh yeah.
You had to get that song. And then I went into like there's like a gravestone you have to go into. For some reason I was getting the vibes of like the ice arrow, the optional ice arrow dungeon in Ocarina of Time. I was like, this seems like sort of like that ice arrow thing. I could probably just leave this. Turns out it's actually required. So I go back like an hour later and do that. And then from there you go to like that Gibdo place with like the house with the crazy zombified man and the daughter and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude.
And okay, beyond that, figuring out that section, then there's the Gibdo thing. You had to like go back and forth, get a specific item to a Gibdo. Dude, that section sucks.
Gibdo, go for it, Quan, sorry.
I was just saying like it was awesome because like I quit playing. I think I quit because I like died to Georg like 3 times, and I was like, I hate this game, and so I just stopped playing.
You pulled a me as a kid.
Yeah. And then like I left for like 2 or 3 hours, and I came back, and I expected Trey and Dapper to be like maybe in the next temple or something, and these guys were like trying to figure out how to like get inside the little girl's house.
Bro.
Like,
Okay.
they had just got there. And it was like,
in all due respect, I had literally, this was my first time ever playing this part of the game. Dapper supposedly has beaten the game 2 times in the past.
Oh yeah, that's so crazy.
Dapper didn't know anything.
Yeah, Dapper is literally like coming in. He's beaten the game twice. He's as clueless as I am somehow.
Yeah,
dude. So you guys, okay, all right.
Like, what
so
the hell?
for people that know Majora's Mask, they entered Akana Canyon, or like the segment for it. Yeah, Akana Canyon with the river that leads to Southern Swamp, and they looked at the Octoroks, both of them. The Octoroks that you're supposed to freeze with the ice arrows to go across, and then like hookshot up to the music box area, and they looked at the Octoroks and went, yeah, this isn't the way to go, and turned right to...
surely we figured that out. I think I figured that.
You both turned right and went to, like, the hole in the wall that's supposed to be the ending of, like, the Anju side quest.
Oh, yeah, we did do that. Yeah, I remember that.
And you guys went over there and tried to blow up that wall for, like, 15 minutes. And I'm just like, what the fuck are they doing?
15 minutes, in all fairness.
It was a long time.
Okay, so... Yeah, and then...
And the crazy thing is you guys were talking to one another, and that's when I learned that Dapper had played the game, and I'm just like, what? How do you not know where to go?
All right, so then basically, I still have no idea how I actually got into the house with the girl. We were just like fucking around, like, how did we get into this house? And then randomly, I was able to just walk in at some point. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't know how I solved that. And then it turns out there's like a whole nother like mini temple before the actual stone tower temple I never knew existed.
Yeah.
It's pretty short, but then, you know, you had to do it still.
Remember when you have to get the giant bomb? You guys were so pissed when you had to get the giant bomb.
These developers at Nintendo have the audacity to make you go get another powder keg, bring it all the way back to that temple, blow up a thing to get somewhere else.
To get the light. You got to get the light to shine into the room.
It was just like, the whole 4th section just seemed like this tedious series of steps I had to go through.
And the only way to get the powder keg in your inventory is to carry a powder keg from, like, the Goron area to, like, a rock, so you can get a license to buy it at the shop in, like, the main clock tower area.
I think at that point, Nintendo intended for you to actually have already done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we thought the only place you could buy that was that big Goron in the Goron village. Mm-hmm. So we went all the way there, paid like 100 rupees.
In the snow, mind you, because you've reset the time already.
And Kwan's like, you guys know you can pay like 50 rupees for one like in Clock Town. We're like, what the? Really? What? I didn't even know that.
Oh my god.
Dapper should have known that. I wouldn't have known that.
Oh. I'm just, oh my god.
Yeah, then like, actually the boss of the mini dungeon was actually low-key kind of hard. The one where you like shoot the curtains.
I don't know how you guys beat that guy. It looked unbeatable to me. It looked way too hard.
Actually, it's pretty doable until like the final phase. That guy like shoots his head at you and stuff, and I had no clue how to dodge it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like only get hit by this one move. I have no clue how to dodge, and just win the war of attrition. Then sure enough, I won. And then it was the actual stone tower temple after that, which was just as confusing as it was before that. Like, it took me a while to get through there.
That temple's
we were talking about the king. We were talking about King Icona there for a sec. I didn't realize what boss we were talking about.
And basically, it took a while to get through that. Majora was way too hard for me with my current setup. I had to go get the Razor Sword to even stand a chance. Went back to Majora, finally beat him in like 15, it took like 16 hours total, I think.
Dapper got to Majora as well and died to him once and immediately quit the race. He immediately quit after dying just once to Majora.
So yeah, that's how I won a Majora's Mask race in 16 hours, everyone. It was fun.
But the Gibdo, you kind of glanced over the Gibdo. The Gibdo, and I wanted to complain about it before. What I realized is the Gibdo is kind of like a diet version of what I hate about Breath of the Wild. Where it's like the Goron Spice Fluff, where it's just fetch quest after fetch quest, just like in a row to get through every single door. To be fair, like some of the Gibdo requirements were the Gibdos go, hey, we need some hot water or hot spring water.
Some of the stuff was
fish.
Like it was in the dungeon itself.
Yeah, it's like, literally there. But some of them you actually have to leave.
Sometimes it's like, okay, I want milk. I'm like, all right, I got to go get milk, I guess, and then come back.
Well, to be fair, there is a cow there. There is a cow down there.
Oh wait, there is. God damn it.
There's a cow in the. But there are. That example was wrong. But yes, there are things there that you actually have to leave.
I think there's two paths. One path leads you to like some extra shit, and the path that you have to go down to actually advance the game. I think everything is available in like the dungeon if you just look hard enough. For the actual path you need. I'm pretty sure there might be one or two things.
I could see a cow being in there because cows tend to be in random places.
No,
Zelda
cow
games.
is definitely in there.
Yeah, there's a cow.
Yeah,
for sure a cow.
What were you saying was the wrong example though?
No, your example. I'm just saying that your example was wrong about the milk not.
Oh, because it wasn't
like
there.
having there are things.
If you don't know it's there, then it's true. Like you.
Yeah. If you don't know that behind one of the locked doors there's a cow. Yes.
How many people know that like if you sing a certain song to the cow, he'll give you milk too? So like.
That's the gift of a casual game
Actually,
player
wait.
nowadays,
I just now realized. Even if a cow wasn't there, I would have no idea how to get milk from it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of Minecraft, like, oh yeah, just like swipe a bucket at it, then I have milk. It's like, wait, no, it's not Minecraft. I don't know how to do. What the hell?
That's crazy.
Majora's Mask, good game.
There is a lot of preamble before the Stone Tower Temple. I forgot.
I had no idea it was that much. That so caught me off guard.
But anyway, yeah, Majora's Mask. Number 1 Zelda game, IMHO.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Andrew side quest. I don't know if it would make me cry, but like talking about crying again, but it's a really good side quest. Would recommend. But getting back to what I actually started this conversation with, Skyward Sword.
It's a good game.
Quan and I remember years ago, and I've alluded to it so many times. We used to have like mini arguments about Skyward Sword. My opinion was Skyward Sword was bad. And this was like 2017, 2016 even. And Quan's side of the argument was, what was your side of the argument?
It's epic. I don't know. Like it's definitely better because everyone thinks it's bad, so I'm going to like since the bar is so low for everyone, I just feel like it makes it that much better of a game because I actually thought it was a very good game while playing it.
When I was playing it, I knew it was bad. I knew it was bad. I thought it was bad. And I remember, I think I beat it in like 70 hours, 60 hours. I feel like that's way too long. Isn't that insanely long nowadays for like a casual game?
That just doesn't seem right, honestly.
Right? I swear to God, I see because for Twilight Princess and for Skyward Sword, it says how many hours each file has been played. And I swear I see like 70.
For a first playthrough of a 3D Zelda game, that sounds about right because it can be confusing to like know where to go a lot of the time.
There's also, if I remember correctly, there's some like weird grindy type of stuff in that game. I don't, if it involves upgrades or something, I don't like the stores. I don't know, but there's some shit in that game that takes time.
But also like back in the day, maybe not nowadays, but I would definitely try to 100%. So I think maybe it was to 100%. 70?
Maybe.
That's more reasonable, maybe.
I will say 100%ing that game isn't that fun because a lot of it, from what I remember, is just like you activate something from the Skyloft world and then it does something right down below it and then there's a heart piece there or something. I thought that was lame.
Yeah.
But
what's funny, okay, so we talked about Majora's Mask. The thing about Majora's Mask that I love is the side quests. Like
that's the main story.
Everybody.
That's literally like the whole point.
Like Ocarina of Time has how many temples? Like 8, 9, something like that. And Majora's Mask has 4. But and nobody hates any of the. All right, maybe okay. That's pretty outlandish to say. I don't experience a lot of Majora's Mask temple hate. You know, like maybe people hate Great Bay Temple or whatever.
Honestly, everybody loves Great Bay isn't that bad if you just know to like follow the pipes.
Yeah, they do have their shtick. Everybody loves Stone Temple, but it's still 4 temples versus however many in every other Zelda game, and all side quests. All the side quests, Cafe. That's Kafei. That's his name that I was trying to think of before. But his side quest is dope. There's a lot of cool side quests with like the circus troupe leader and stuff like
it's I don't know. I always knock the game because there's no like final dungeon. That's what always makes me like not put it up there with the epic of the epic Zeldas.
I still think that the moon is a really epic place in a video game. Like being in there, I don't know. It's not even like that giant field thing. It's just gives me goosebumps almost.
Definitely the lead up, where it's just like you just see the tree in the distance, and you just have to walk or roll as Goron if you're a noob.
Sid, I know why people don't give Majora's Mask dungeons like any flack at all. It's because honestly, they're very straightforward if you're just like kind of smart. And
I think
compared to the Ocarina of Time, especially like Water Temple and Forest Temple, some other ones. It's less confusing.
I wouldn't say Stone Tower is very straightforward.
Oh, you're right. Stone Tower's
I got hella
Stone Tower's actually messed up. But the three before that are very straightforward compared to...
Yeah, I agree. And I was under the impression, like, okay, got to the first three, not too much trouble. One more temple to go. Oh, wait, there's like a million things I gotta do before the temple. Crap.
The thing that I've heard people give flack about Majora's Mask temples is that, and I think they could have done this. My idea for fixing the Majora's Mask temples would be to separate it from time. Like if you entered a temple, the time doesn't matter. So like I know Emo's complained about it. Been on the podcast before, Optimistic Emo. People have complained that they enter the temple too late in the cycle, in like the 3-day cycle, and they don't have enough time given by the game in order to beat it, and they have to reset the temple.
Yeah, you gotta kind of be a gamer about it and be like, all right, I gotta reset the day.
You have to know the slow down time song, or it's like really hard casually.
Well, and it's also, I remember being the gamer that Quan's referencing at 8 years old, being like, oh, I remember entering I guess like the second temple, so Snowhead, and being like, okay, well, I'm here, it's second day, I need to reset. Like I need to restart it all and then enter the temple again. Because I learned it from Windfall that I had to do that. And I'd never really complained about it. But I think they could have just voluntarily been like, okay, once you enter a temple, the time freezes. Or something like that. Like, I could definitely see that happening.
Baby gamer.
Or have... I think the lamest thing about Majora's Mask, since I've talked about how good it is, I think the lamest thing is that they don't use the time mechanics in the temple at all. Like, it's just totally separate, and you just kind of have a time limit for a temple. And it's kind of lame. But, like, if they made it... Maybe that's, like, if they ever actually remake any of these games, and they make a final temple for Majora's Mask, which will never happen because they'll never actually add anything to any remake they ever do. But if they make the Moon Temple actually have something to do with time, and like, because you go there at the end of the final day, and it's just kind of there and timeless. Like I'm pretty sure the 3-day timer's gone. If they have some sort of mechanic on the moon regarding time, that could be really interesting. I don't know what it could be. Like, I'm just suggesting, I'm pulling shit out of my ass, but I think that could be a really cool idea. Anyway.
Good game.
Well, they could always bring back the time mechanic in future games, not even just Majora's Mask. I don't know if they would, but they could.
Trey, did you play that one Majora's Mask ROM hack with us, or is that Calf?
I have never played a ROM hack of Majora's Mask, no.
We played this insane ROM hack where it was like you get an hourglass item or something, and then you just like kind of reverse time like by 3 seconds each time you use the item, so you like go back to where you were. And it was actually insanely it led to some like insane puzzles and shit. So it was it was a very short ROM hack, but it was really good.
Did it use magic?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. So that's I guess this is a preamble for me to talk about Skyward Sword. My biggest complaint with Skyward Sword is that there are like 2 major side missions. And like there are the 3 temples, and then they like recycle the areas and do like the what is it? The moblins took all your shit in the volcano level, and the tad tones that everybody complains about, but I kind of like tad tones. That's what's funny. I don't like the game, but I like the part that everybody hates. Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember shit from Skyward Sword, but I liked it a lot while playing. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I remember the only parts I didn't like were obviously the ones with you gotta fight the big guy. Who's the big guy? The
robot.
No, dude. The main big guy with the big ass mouth that he goes up the hill or whatever. He goes up the canyon. You gotta hit his teeth or something.
The Dodongo ripoff.
Yeah, that was bullshit because you have to do that 3 times. That wasn't very fun. But I did. Okay. I think the Girahim is his name. The main.
Yep.
I think he's one of my favorite villains in all of Zelda, and his fights are fun because you gotta use motion controls and swipe your sword the correct way and shit. It's hype.
No, I love Girahim. Girahim's sick.
He's a good villain.
Whenever I hear Girahim now, I think back to I DM'd Trey about this. I don't know if we talked about it, but I watched a YouTube video about was it talking about how good the Skyward Sword's music was or something? I don't remember. Maybe the game itself, but he talked about when Girahim showed up. It was the weirdest, creepiest edit I've ever seen, where he was just maybe me saying it won't do it justice, but he said it showed a shot of Girahim putting his tongue out, and he's just what that tongue do? And it felt so creepy with the combination of his voice and the way he edited it, and I was just ugh.
Wait, I thought wasn't that a Twilight Princess video?
Oh, maybe it was a Twilight Princess video.
Because there was a video, I think it was a video about why Twilight Princess is his favorite 3D Zelda.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't watch more than 10 minutes of it because I thought the guy was kind of weird.
It was so weird.
And I don't know how you watched the whole video, but
I watched the whole video, and he's just what that tongue do?
I was just I don't think this guy's really for me. My taste in YouTube content's too refined at this point.
But yeah, that's the only thing I think of when I see Girahim now. But
all right.
What? So those are the 2 things that you didn't like and liked?
I guess.
That you can remember?
I just bomb bowling was epic.
I like when Ego Raptor says it.
Bomb bowling. See, what's funny? Go for it.
The game holds your hands. Whatever, man. Just fucking play the game. Just stop crying. You can turn it off in the Switch version. You can turn off the handholdy shit.
Wait. Are you telling me EGAD's in this game? Bro, I love EGAD.
EGAD's awesome. I never played Luigi's Mansion 3, so I don't know, but
what was I gonna say? God damn it, I forgot about it. You said EGAD, and I totally thought about EGAD for a sec.
Really? You thought of EGAD when I said EGAD?
The tier collecting parts. Remember the tier collecting parts in Skyward Sword?
Yeah.
I thought those were good.
Wait, is that similar to how it was in Twilight Princess? Or
no, they're more stealthy missions or something.
What's funny about those segments is that the thing that shows your tiers in the Sacred Realm is the same shape as the one in Twilight Princess. So it's they know that they're ripping it off, the idea of it, but the act of actually collecting the tiers is way different.
Yeah, I think you could call it a callback. I mean, it's not like they're
it's
definitely a callback to Twilight Princess.
I'm assuming it was better because the whole bug thing was out. It was all right, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think people like playing as the wolf all that much. I think that's the issue.
Yeah. Another thing.
The wolf, it was interesting. I'll give it that much.
I like Wolfling. Twilight Princess is a sick game. But I will say, people talk about how easy Skyward Sword is. Go back and play Twilight Princess. That is the easiest Zelda game by far.
Yeah, that's what I say.
So fucking easy. Last time I played it on the Wii U version. I don't think I've ever lost more than 3 hearts at a single time.
I think the reason I said this in season 1 for sure, but I think the reason I liked Twilight Princess so much as a kid is I was so bad at games as a kid. I was like, oh dude, I can actually beat this game. This is sick.
Yeah, the game is so easy. Enemies will do a quarter heart damage to you. It's hilarious.
Wind Waker's the exact same. With enemy difficulty.
I don't think that a bomb explosion should not do a quarter of a heart. Like, what's up with that? Like, Wind Waker, it's quarter of a heart bomb.
I'll say right now, battle the little pirate on the plank in Skyward Sword. Put that up against anything in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and tell me Skyward Sword's an easy game.
Ooh, that's great. That's actually a weird statement.
Easy game.
That's a nut statement because you're kind of right.
And like, at least I guess motion controls can be wacky and shitty, but at least it takes some kind of thinking and effort. With Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, it just mostly comes down to B, 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 B,
yeah.
B. Oh, B / / yes, like that's combat basically. Skyward Sword, you gotta like put your, you gotta slice the correct way. You can't just spam slice or else the Wiimote will explode. I guess I don't know.
I think we have an episode. I think we have an episode title, by the way. BBB / /
OB
OB BB BBB.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not. That's why
isn't that every Zelda game that's not motion controls though?
Pretty much.
No.
I guess
the more difficult ones you gotta think some more.
Ocarina of Time is so jank, you can't really do that, which I kind of like about it.
Yeah, because your direction matters so much.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what I wanted to say about Skyward Sword, so I could just get it out there, is that we discussed it like a lot, and I feel like my opinions have been softening over, like, there are obviously some opinions that I will have for the rest of my life, but like Twilight Princess being super easy, and it's just been solidified now. Thank you, Quan. But Skyward Sword, I think I initially really disliked it, and then Quan and I had so many discussions about it, and it's softened since. And I had like this stance against Quan that I just had to dislike this game, and then at some point we just came to this agreement that it was okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that.
As long as you say it's okay, I'm chill. Like, it's fine. Don't call it bad. I feel like most people call it bad just because YouTube or everyone else calls it bad because of fee or whatever.
I've been indoctrinated by the bad game propaganda. That's why I still haven't played it yet.
Mm-hmm. And I remember just like the dungeons and like the atmosphere and the puzzles were fun. Like, that's not always a thing in all the Zelda games, is the dungeons being legit fun.
See, I think the biggest issue with Skyward Sword and like talking about Wind Waker is that Wind Waker didn't feel empty, right? Like you went on your sailing ship and you sailed, and sure, like with an adult's perspective on it, you look at it and go, well, there's just like a small minigame island here and then a small minigame island there, and maybe you pick up a chest here, and maybe there's like some sort of octopus fight in the middle of the water here, but overall, there's not a lot of shit.
I agree.
Comparatively.
I 100% agree, though. It doesn't feel empty because there is that like sense of wonder on the horizon. Yeah. You see the little islands. No, it's a good game.
But
although
Skyward Sword,
sorry, I was going to make this point. I do think that the sailing in Phantom Hourglass is better than Wind Waker.
No.
Go off, Queen.
That is so... Okay, we'll get back... No. We'll get back to it in a second. I just want to finish up the Skyward Sword. Go ahead. Skyward Sword feels empty. Trey, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to say Skyward Sword feels empty and Wind Waker definitely doesn't. Maybe they're just as empty as one another, but Skyward Sword feels empty when you're on that bird. You look into the horizon and it's clouds, just gray clouds, and it's just like, ugh.
All right, I'm going to be honest. I don't remember Phantom Hourglass all that well, hardly at all, but I feel like there was at least more stuff to do in the water on the way to islands, right?
I don't know.
I played it through it once. I
think that you could like, there were ways to unlock certain parts for your ship and stuff, and maybe it had to do with, I don't fucking remember. I thought there was more stuff to do. I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure it was pretty good. So that's all I got.
I played Phantom Hourglass the day it was released for the weekend after it came out. Like, I remember because it was awkward to lie down in my bed and play the 3DS, I set up like a little bed on the floor, or like had better lighting. I can't remember, but I remember setting up a little bed on the floor in my room and playing the DS. Actually, no, it was on the weekend because I had school the next day, but I like 2 nights straight, and then beat it. And I had no intention to play the 100% or anything like that. That was like the beginning of my non 100% curve.
I'll probably never play Phantom Hourglass again, but I did really enjoy the everyone hates on the backtrack dungeon where it's like, oh, you do the same beginning, then you go a little bit further. I don't know why, but I actually enjoyed that. And like always like the stealthiness of like avoiding that one dude each time.
I don't. Quan, did you ever play Phantom Hourglass?
I got stuck when I was a kid. Never played it again. I don't remember.
Dude, we
all pretty dang good.
We all occasionally pull a tray. We get stuck and we leave. And
I feel like that's more than just me, but yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, well, that's the only one we allude to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phantom Hourglass, I never really had a big issue with the backtrack dungeon. See, what's funny about like backtracking and stuff, when I mention Skyward Sword and like the reuse of areas, I really appreciate it. Where it's just like, oh, this is the area you've been before, but now it's flooded and you have to get tad tones. Oh, this is the area you've been before, but upon re-entering, for some reason, the moblins took all your shit and now it's nighttime and you have nothing.
What the fuck is a tad tone? What?
it's
I can't tell you.
He keeps talking about tad tones.
Okay. It's like okay, so when you revisit the Faron Woods in, I think it's Faron Woods in Skyward Sword, and it's flooded because like Nehru's right there, and for some reason the area is flooded. You have to collect all these music notes that are like tadpoles.
That's a callback to Majora's Mask.
I guess that's true.
That's a callback to Majora's Mask. I don't remember that.
I've never thought about that. Or like Ocarina of Time, right? The frogs.
No,
yeah, OG was the OG of that.
Yeah.
Well, you said tadpoles. There were legit music note tadpoles in Majora's Mask.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, the Zora eggs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I wasn't even thinking of that. Yeah,
I didn't think about it. I just thought of frogs, and I was just like, oh yeah, frogs,
tad tones.
But yeah, you have to go collect all these music notes to collect the song, so that somebody remembers the song, so the water goes down. I can't remember what exactly the plot narrative was there, but you have to collect all these notes and then put the water down.
I have no.
But a lot of people hate on. Yeah, a lot of people hate on that segment because I just swimming in video games always sucks? Except for the Zora in Majora's Mask. Another reason that Majora's Mask is a very good game.
I disagree with that sentiment, but whatever.
You don't like Zora?
No, okay. I at least admit I like the Zora swimming in that game.
It's all right when you have like 1,000 miles of clear space, but if you ever try to do any type of like actual like specific movements or type anything, it's just terrible. The controls are god awful.
You know what's funny though? The best swimming is fast swimming, so you can get out of the water faster. Because swimming sucks.
Wait, you mean like diving out or what?
That's why swimming in sunshine is good. Because
it's not swimming.
The fastest form of swimming is to get out of the water.
True.
But yeah.
Well, do we have any more Zelda thoughts? Yeah, I think we touched on every single game now.
Have we? I've never played Minish Cap, or I haven't.
Oh,
played
Minish Cap is good.
Cap.
Actually, okay. One final Zelda thought.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Next time I stream Sunshine 80%, I'm probably gonna beat Superstar Saga finally.
Mm-hmm.
And the next game I plan on doing during intro cutscene segments is Minish Cap, so I'll be doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yay.
And you've played it.
I played it, and I beat the entire thing, except I didn't beat the final dungeon. I got stuck and gave up. I pulled a tray. I live up to my name, and there you go.
Whoa.
I'm trying to think of other games that I've pulled a tray with, but I think at this point it's like Bloodborne, but it's not like out of frustration. It was just kind of...
I have an insane... This is actually insane. Okay, Link's Awakening, original Link's Awakening for like the 3DS. It was like the port or whatever. You just get on the eShop. I played through it like super hardcore. Like I loved it. Got to like the Eagle Temple. Stopped playing completely. Never beat it. Never beat the original Link's Awakening. I get the Switch version. I love it. I play it obsessively. I am so in love with the game. I get to the Eagle Dungeon and I stop playing for months.
Wait, why is the Eagle Dungeon?
There was literally no reason why I should stop playing. I never got stuck, I don't think. I just decided like at that point, I was like, I had enough. And I legit went a year, I think, before I actually went back to like the new Link's Awakening and actually beat it. It's just it's just crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy how that works.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing with Bloodborne, where it's just like I was just like I need a break, and then I just never.
Well, hey, now you got to return to Dark Souls 2, right?
I got to return to Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2. We've been going for a while, so thanks, Quan, for coming onto the show again. We'll have you back.
Thoughts?
We'll have you back on the show fairly soon to do the top 10 idea. I like this top 10 idea, by the way.
Sure,
I think it's a good idea.
I've been listening to your guys' podcasts and shit, right? And like,
thank you.
You guys have like low key turned into an anime podcast. I feel like every episode you guys go like an hour talking about anime.
Right. The first episode 1, sure, and then I guess Sailor Moon, sure. Other than that,
you know what? I'll keep all of my TV talk to the last hour of the podcast if that will make everybody happy.
And real quick, listening to the KO episode, I finally watched Bo Burnham's Inside because of that, and it was all right. I got to I didn't finish it though. I got to 15 minutes left, and I stopped watching. I haven't watched the rest of it yet. It's okay, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my only thoughts on it. It's okay. You guys were super passionate about it. I was like, damn, these guys love Bo Burnham.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I see. What's funny about Inside, and I'll wrap up really quick. I watched it and I didn't think it was like anything insanely special. Everybody else loved it, but re-listening to the songs, I'm like, these are really good songs. You know, it's something that's lost on like nowadays music, where it's just current music, where I feel like lyricism is very important to those kinds of songs, and lyricism isn't really a thing, or it isn't as important as it once was in today's pop music. I feel like that's really like an accusatory statement to end the podcast on, but I'll leave it. I'll let it sit.
I'll do one quick thought is like, I was turned off from the podcast. I was turned off from the thing immediately because like one of the first songs was the sock puppet one, and it was just just another one of those fucking social awareness, but also be self-aware,
I kind of had that vibe as well,
type of thing. And I thought the whole thing was going to be like that, and I was going to be upset because that's old news now, that type of comedy and stuff. But the rest of it was good. Like the Instagram girl one was amazing.
I love that.
Yeah. It went to some good spots, but I never finished it, so whatever.
All right. Well, hope y'all enjoyed this crazy episode with Quan. Once again, glad to have him back. We're on Spotify and Google Play. Sorry, it's Google Podcast now. I still have muscle memory.
We broke 2 hours of recording.
Oh my god.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
You guys have a good one. Bye. See you next week.
See ya.